it's like each paycheck, it's like 4 hours of vacation time. No, 3.5 vacation, four and a quarter for sick time. For some reason, I accrue way more sick time. So, which is weird why they do it that way, but you know, whatever. It works out in my favor just because it means, you know, sick time.
Yeah, I was going to say it seems like it works out in your favor for that part particularly, but
Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, more time off's more time off.
too true on that. Okay. So, how about that PlayStation news? Old Jimbo is leaving PlayStation after 30 years, although technically only, what, 4 years of CEO, give or take, I think?
I mean, I'm all for that tinfoil hat theory, but I think it's more just a case of this is now as good time as ever to ditch. I mean,
I think it kind of is, yeah. I'd agree with that. But I do find it is funny to look at it though that it's happening right as there's this big. So we still don't know any details yet. If all this information was hacked off of the PlayStation accounts and everything, 2014 or 2011 all over again.
which cracks me up because that date's correct. It does line up with my memory, but for some reason I thought it was in the 2000s, the 2010s when that happened.
I'm right there with you. I feel like it was almost at a time where it was like you and me hanging out like at your place just playing games or something like that, or
yeah, and
or
it just
like
dies.
Well, because wasn't that was still back during the time when we would what's the word I'm looking for, like you waited for Tuesday for like all the demos and store refresh and everything, right? That was still back then during that type of time, but not so much anymore.
Like we graduated in 2009. So,
I know, right? So we were already in college and everything.
Yeah, so like that the time frame is early 2010s when we were building PlayStation 3. It's like the PS4 didn't come out until what, 2014 or so?
2014, because it was that same year that I moved here to Japan.
Yeah, so I mean the time lines up, but just for some reason I always think it's too recent.
Yep. Absolutely, 100% agree with that.
But my tinfoil hat theory right now, actually, this is a bit more realistic one. There's a real chance that he's quitting right now as a means of oh god, what do you call it? Effectively making a news thing to divert the attention away from the data break-in. Oh my god, what is the word for that? It's embarrassing. You should know.
Distraction?
It's not like a false flag, but yeah, it's a distraction. Yeah. I see a lot in politics.
Oh yeah, no, it always is, yeah.
Because I mean, it doesn't seem like the timing of it, other than the data break, and makes a whole lot of sense. Because I mean, at this point, Sony could just shit on a disc and they would sell gangbusters, just because Microsoft's not putting any fight up at all. So,
yep.
Just a shame, because I'm never getting my Ape Escape at this point.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to some Japanese developers and talk to the Japanese side of it, because that's not owned. That's owned obviously by Sony, but it's originally created by Sony Japan. So
yeah, which is kind of.
I'm wondering if maybe they're holding on to it for some reason. You know,
it's just doesn't sell. I mean, let's be honest, it's not a.
It's not gonna sell. No. Like as much as like, and that can be said for a lot of old games or like, old franchises, I should say, where sometimes you're like, oh, this would be so cool to see come a remake or something like that, but like, whether it's it being popular or anything like that, it would probably not sell as well as some people would think, or it wouldn't maybe translate sometimes into a good game, wearing those nostalgia glasses and everything. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate, it is, but it's kind of like the realistic way of looking at it, I guess.
My other I got all kinds of tinfoil hat theories for you.
Where's tinfoil hat? Let's go.
Other one is, it could be that those above the now leaving head honcho of PlayStation, they're like, hey, you're dumping a lot of money into this live service stuff, and keeps going belly up for a lot of our developers. It's a huge money sink. Let's look at Babylon's Fall. Think about who else just left that company recently. The head honcho of Platinum. And what died? But Babylon's Fall.
Well, and
right?
I don't know if he's I don't think he left the company, but Square Enix's CEO just got changed, so they just got a new CEO for Square Enix, and they just lost $2 billion in shares and everything. So yeah.
Due to that? Or...
Well, no, so we made a video on this, funny enough, so shameless plug right there. But
there you go.
So Square Enix over the last 3-ish years or so have not made particularly good decisions when it comes to their company, right? Everything from going into their live service stuff to trying to do the mobile scene, to all the NFTs and everything that they wanted to do, right? And then this year when 16 released, there were a lot of people that were hoping that 16 would kind of not soften the blow, but basically cover their asses in terms of the lost revenue from those last 3 years, because even games like Forspoken did pretty terribly, right? So 16, while it did very good, it wasn't the greatest in terms of like sales. Like, it didn't, 3 million in the first week is great, and obviously it's going to sell more. It sold more over time. It's got a PC release coming hopefully next year. It's got the 2 DLCs that were announced, but it was never going to sell enough that it would cover all of the crap that they've done over the last 3 years. And due to that, they lost $2 billion, or like their shares dropped, I guess, in $2 billion this year. Again, we made a video on it about a couple weeks ago, give or take, but because you saw a lot of articles talking about how, hey, through the Final Fantasy 16, or the way they worded it essentially, right, without straight up saying it, they're like, hey, due to Final Fantasy 16's low sale numbers, you lost $2 billion in revenue / shares and everything. But when you really look at it, you're like, no, 16 sold well, especially because it was only on the PlayStation 5 at a player base that is lower than something like the PlayStation 4, which is one of the most popular selling consoles. It's your 3 years of doing crap business decisions and everything, essentially. So
I mean, unless you're Rockstar, one game's not going to solve your problem.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Easily, yes. Although, well, and I guess that's why it gives them the opportunity to say, like, hey, you know what, Xbox, you want Red Dead Redemption 2 on Game Pass? $5 million a month. That I laughed at when I saw that.
I would sooner see Take-Two get bought out than I see that happening on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, no.
GTA Online maybe, because the money's made on those shark cards, but not Red Dead.
Right. Yeah.
So on the flip side, I don't think Red Dead's something that Take-Two really holds as high esteem, obviously, as GTA. I don't think they would give a shit. I don't think Red Dead's a moneymaker.
Compared to GTA, no, it's not, unfortunately.
Especially since they nuked their multiplayer. Either didn't do well, or they just didn't want to put the money into it.
They didn't want to put the money into it. GTA Online is less effort for them to put into it, and then they get more money out of it. So, yeah, it's no surprise, actually. Renegade, get your butt into the chat here on Discord, and we'll talk about stuff. Yes, I'm promoting direct stuff on the direct channel. How dare I? Shameless plug.
Don't you have to put a hashtag ad thing in your video now?
Yep, clearly I do. My own brand, I have to do it now. So hashtag sponsor, hashtag direct gaming. Yep.
That's like a law or something.
Yeah. But that goes up. Yeah, it definitely feels a little weird as to why he leaves right now. Or he's not technically leaving right now. He's leaving in April, technically.
Well, I mean, he announced he's leaving. That's right. They never leave immediately.
Yeah, they never leave immediately or anything.
HR asked him to leave. which is pretty rare. HR doesn't usually ask head honchos to leave unless it's really damning.
Wait,
You have to be a real asshole.
Wait, I didn't
No,
see
no,
anything
no.
like-
I'm saying, no. If it's in April, he's retiring. I'm saying if HR got involved, like you did something real damning.
Oh
you
yeah,
disappear.
usually you're out of there. Literally, yeah, you're
Yeah.
out of there pretty fast. Yeah.
But I mean, unless you're like Elon Musk levels of like fucking things up, like you're probably fine. They probably won't ask you to leave day of.
No. And so in October he steps down from the position of CEO, and then they have like a
oh, it's an interim thing. And
yeah, an
he's just there
interim
as
CEO
guidance.
until they get a new one. Which I know a lot of people are hoping that, like, there are a couple of people's names that were kind of floated in terms of who they would want to be the new CEO, but I'm like, I don't know if it's the guy who focuses on indie games, or he helps out with the indie scene a lot. I'm like, I don't think he would be a good CEO just because then he's leaving that scene that he's most known for and he clearly loves. So I'd rather see someone else in there. And I think I'm kind of torn because on one hand, yeah, it'd be nice to have a gamer be, you know, the CEO and everything. But in reality, that doesn't help all the time, I think, when it comes to making all those business decisions and everything like that. As much as we would love to see that. I don't know, that's just my personal take on it. Like,
I don't need Dr.
obviously having a
Disrespect
new...
to be CEO.
Huh?
I don't know. So I don't need like someone like Dr. Disrespect being CEO. I do need someone who actually plays games. Jim Ryan did not play games.
Oh,
he is an
that's
accountant.
clear.
He is
Yeah.
a bean counter. I don't want that. I want someone who actually gives a shit about games. Full stop. So
And-
what you want
and I'm
Microsoft,
right there
but
usually,
Spencer is a gamer. Like,
Right, and usually,
not like
and you know what? I would say that as well, but at the same time, I also know what. Obviously, I don't work in the multi-billion-dollar companies or anything, but I do know that, you know, whether it's shareholders or the board or the business itself and everything, they're always looking at the money as the top thing, right? And so I feel like somebody who can meet in the middle, right? Someone who actually knows about the business and everything, knows how things work, and, you know, has to unfortunately sometimes make the tough choices and everything, but at the same time knows what gamers want. And, you know, even if they're not able to promise on everything, but they can just be a little bit more like transparent, where somebody who can, you know, maybe jumps online, you know, once a week or once a month or something like that, just makes like a 5-minute little Twitter video or something like that. It's like, hey guys, want to let you know what's going on here at PlayStation, you know, really looking forward to doing this. This is also happening, yada yada. It's kind of like an update thing, right? Where they kind of keep us in the loop. I know they don't need to, but it's always nice to be transparent about that information. But at the same time, not have someone there who's just going to give you false hope the entire time and be like, yep, we got this, I'm a gamer, I got you boys, let's do this. Because in reality, that doesn't work out most of the time, right? So I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it as too much of a realistic look on it and everything, and, you know, I would prefer just to have a simple gamer as a CEO. But when I think of a CEO position, like, you've got to have a good balance there, especially to make people happy. So again, not saying Jim Ryan was the best CEO or anything like that. He was far from it. But I think, you know, there's got to be a balance there, essentially. So
I respectfully disagree. A CEO is from the versus a figurehead. There's bean counters, teams, hundreds of bean counters at somewhere like Sony that deals with the money side. That guy can run his mouth all day. The bean counters don't care. It ain't gonna happen. This guy needs to be super, like, he needs to be the figurehead of the brand. And to me, Jim Ryan wasn't. He was just this bean counter that was like, oh, we're gonna, you know, who the hell wants to play old games?
that was an extremely weird comment to make. It's almost as bad as Dice's. We don't know why everyone likes Bad Company 2.
Exactly. Like, to me, you need a good figurehead as a CEO. You need to be the face of the brand. Say what you will about Elon Musk, but he's a good face to a brand. He's good at hyping people up, which I don't think Jim Ryan would hype anyone up.
No, he didn't. Who was the CEO before him? By the way, again, go ahead and play whatever game you want, man. I'm not forcing you to come to the chat or anything.
It's a good question. Google PlayStation. Okay.
次に備えろ。
分かってる。
All right. So is Jim Ryan replacing John Codera. I've never even heard of.
I don't remember.
Codera would leave SIE in 2021. Then Andrew House was before that, which I remember Andrew House. And then before that was Kaz Hirai. Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
And before that was Ken Kutaragi.
Yeah, that's the last
Mad
CEO
God
I actually remember.
himself.
That's the last CEO I remember because that was when we were in high school, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That
those
was
are the,
PS3. He's the one who's like $600. You dipshits are gonna buy this day one, and then no one did.
that was also back during the day though, where this whole online ecosystem was just starting to really come into effect, right? That was still back in the day where you got hyped for the E3 once a year type of thing, right? And all that. So, you know, which obviously isn't a thing. Renegade, I'll tell you more on Gilded and everything, but the reason was because by the time Bobby had gotten the video to you and edited and everything, more news had come out. So we're trying to wait just a little bit longer to see what's going to happen with the next bit of information coming out about Unity, and then we're going to make a video. We'll get that to you, and you know, we'll probably still be able to use some of that old video, which again I have, or we should still have in the drive and everything. But yeah, I'll talk to you later about it. But that's the reason it didn't go live, simply because it was just we missed it by like the moment we were gonna let it get going because we were waiting for a thumb to get made. All of a sudden, like that, you know, the CEO of Unity was like, "Oh, we're totally listening to you guys, and you know, we're coming up with new solutions and everything." And everyone's of course rolling their eyes at him because that CEO, speaking of CEOs, the CEO talk today, that CEO is the ex-CEO of EA who got that
I was
company.
just about to ask that if you knew who the CEO of Unity was.
No, I knew who it was. Yes.
I know. Not only the CEO of EA, but the CEO of EA at the time when they put online passes in the games.
Online passes, and you know, he was the one who made the famous comment about charging money for like every bullet shot in Battlefield games back in the days.
Oh yeah, Sean Cattell was an asshole even back in the day. Like,
oh yeah, no, he was.
guy-
And then he also made some comment about like I think it was publishers or developers. I think he might say developers, but developers who don't think about like nickeling and diming or something like that. I know I'm getting a couple words mixed up, but
No, I know exactly.
nickeling and diming, you know, are idiots or something like that. Like he actually, like the word idiot or stupid or something, that was actually said. Like it was ridiculous. So.
No, it's the gaming equivalent of the guy who said those who want to buy a house should stop eating avocado toast.
Avocado toast and everything. Because yes, clearly me not eating my toast every morning for breakfast, that's gonna save up enough money for me to go buy a house. Totally, man.
Yeah.
I should have my future house in I don't know, 30 years by doing that.
Yeah. It's funny because that avocado toast guy just came out with a new quote about how workers should be thankful for employers for being so cool to them for giving a job.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Unemployment needs to shoot up and stuff. So
That Australian, you're talking about that Australian guy, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Oh
a
god.
trust fund, baby.
He's like, we need unemployment to skyrocket and everything, and I'm sitting here going like, dude, like you are saying the quiet part out loud now. That's literally what you're doing.
And he's a trust fund baby too, which makes it even more fun.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I just found that extremely funny. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see who's gonna take over as a CEO for Sony, though. Again, hopefully it is somebody who understands gamers, or you know, at least is a little bit more transparent. I would say that would be nice because, like you said, they're a figurehead, right? So if there's somebody who can jump on once a month and just be like, hey, you know, wanted to check in, guys, you know, and they don't have to even be playing games themselves. They can just be, you know, they're at least knowledgeable of the games and everything, or again, the company that they're quote unquote the CEO of. Because I mean, there's that awkward picture of Jim trying to hold a PS4 controller or something like that, and it was just like, dude, that's not the greatest.
I mean, say what you will, the guy never pretended to be super into games, though. I mean, he's
no.
and
I know that. Yeah, he never was. I do agree with that. Yes.
I feel like that to me is like the epitome of this is not the same industry it was 10 years ago.
Oh no, it wasn't.
So-
Clearly not. Well, and speaking of that now, though, with all of that leaked data from Xbox, well, the person who leaked who put the wrong files up isn't too. Hopefully, they get too many people yelling at him or anything like that.
Oh, they're long gone.
They're probably fired, to be perfectly honest. But one interesting thing that came out with that, because we also found out that comment about what Phil Spencer said about Xbox, you know, either being completely done or doing some huge business decision after like fiscal year 2027, I believe, if Game Pass doesn't get the 100 million subs or something like that. We're currently at 30 right now. And I'm like, that's, you don't got much time. Like, I wonder if Microsoft, you know, metaphorically, obviously, like has a gun to his head and is like, yo, we've been dumping money into this. I know we've got deep pockets, but we want some results.
Like, Microsoft's not Google. They're not going to pull the plug at a moment something looks funky, but they do got to appease the shareholders
Right,
eventually.
exactly. And that, yeah, exactly, yes.
Azure cannot carry Microsoft and Xbox. Microsoft being, you know, the Office, effectively, because Windows doesn't make money, but you get that for free, effectively, at this point.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the money right now is in Azure and Office.
Yep.
365, which is technically Azure. Because yeah, it's a money sink, hoping that subscriptions take off. But
Right.
as we're seeing with everything, even Amazon Prime,
Amazon Prime, I mean, not only just Amazon Prime, you have Amazon, you have all the streaming services in terms of Netflix and Disney Plus and everything.
well, I mean, that's
there's-
well tread ground. It's been dying for a while, but even Amazon Prime, the OG
yeah,
subscription
the OG
service,
subscriptions,
is dying
those
out.
are dying, right? So,
Sucks, because I only use it for shipping. Can't remember the last time I watched
you know,
something on
it's
Prime
funny
Video.
because Amazon Prime, like, you know, they promised the whole, like, next day shipping or something like that. You know,
Ain't
depending
next
on where
day
you go.
anymore, let me tell you.
Right, but here, okay, so here's the funny thing though, at least being here in Japan, you can get a good chunk of things delivered here in Japan next day and not be a Prime member. Like,
That's kinda funny.
Like the shipping and delivery and like the service and everything, at least here in Japan, it is like top tier, and you would think it would be the equivalent of, you know, Amazon Prime members. But I'm not even a Prime member, and my fiance is a Prime member. She's had it forever, and I think she also has it through her job. But like, we've both ordered things at the exact same time, and they've arrived at the same day, like maybe an hour between each other or something like that. It's just like, why would I even pay for that? Like, there's absolutely no point. So
At least for me, as anecdotal, they'll give me overnight shipping for the most bizarre things. I've bought like seltzers and stuff, you know, food items on Amazon, and it's usually a day, maybe two. I've had deck boxes, like Magic card deck boxes, overnighted. I've had, I think, something else I got. The plastic for my rolly chair, you know, the plastic you put down on carpeting to make the rolly chair, you know, still roll. Overnighted. The most bizarre things, yeah, for free. It's so weird. Like, I understand it's a warehouse thing, but like, why is my warehouse the closest near me have the most bizarre random stuff and not food?
I will never know about that. Oh, actually, I did want to ask your opinion on something, and that is the physical media and everything, because that's been a big conversation with all the Xbox leaks and everything about how they're going all digital with refreshes. Most likely their next gen consoles. What are your thoughts on that? Good, bad, in the middle?
It was inevitable. This was always going to happen. I mean, it's weird, because I remember seeing people like flipping out, like, oh my god, they're not going to have a disk drive on the next Xbox? Well, in case they didn't notice, the Series S doesn't have a disk drive. And one of the SKUs for the PlayStation 5 does not have a disk drive. The current rumors for the next PlayStation is that it does not come with a disk drive, and it's an attachable thing through USB. PC games don't come on disc anymore, full stop.
Right.
Maybe GTA, Diablo didn't. Blizzard used to be the last, company that seemed to drop things into retail.
Right.
So I don't know why everyone's so shocked about it. Yeah, I'm a bit bummed out about it, but at this point, the discs you get are just license keys. Most of the time, the game just get downloaded. Patches, pretty normal to re-download the whole damn game. Like, I'm bummed out about it, but at this point, my internet's faster than the disk drive, so I don't know. Like it's more. I feel like it's an old person issue. Like back in my day, we used to get little pamphlets with our games, little manuals.
Oh yeah, the little
I used to
pamphlet
read them.
things.
I used to
Now you
read
get, like,
them
a
on the
single piece
drive
of paper.
home. Hey, you don't get that anymore. You get like all the legalese in the backside of the cover of the game because you know the case are translucent. I don't know. It's a relic of a bygone era, right? Well, I'm bummed out. I mean, I always buy physical whenever I can. But for example, the next I was about Yakuza still. The next Like a Dragon game with Gaiden, not even gonna be physical in the States.
Oh, is
Not
it? Oh
that.
wow, I did not know that.
Full digital. Alan Wake 2, full digital.
Oh yeah, Alan Wake. We've known about for a while. Yeah, I know that.
And I don't know if it's a case of just people are finally coming to the realization of it. And they just kind of, you know, they hit the epiphany with that leak from Xbox. But that writing has been on the wall, and it's been on the wall for a
Well, the
very
original
long
Xbox
time.
One was supposed to be all digital, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think the controversy with that wasn't the digital part, but it was like PC
Oh, the
games.
all
'cause-
online thing. Was that?
Yeah, because
yeah.
PC games. I mean, you've bought physical PC games before, right?
It's been forever. I think the last one I bought
So
was
remember they came
Battlefield
with
3.
license keys. Okay, so you know they came with license keys.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
Effectively, you could never resell the game,
right. I remember that.
And that was the big people flipping out about was you couldn't resell your Xbox games. That's where the whole joke about here's how to borrow games on PlayStation just gives the box
Yeah,
over.
you just did the little video thing. Yeah, I remember that.
That's where that came from. So the concern was they're going to do effectively what PC does. You have a license key on the disc. You just can't give the disc away. It's tied to your Microsoft account or your Xbox account.
Right.
So I think they're still gonna have discs back in the VCR, you know, Xbox One days, but I just don't think they had the balls to do it back then. They barely have the balls to do it now with, you know, the lesser SKUs for both consoles, both Xbox and PlayStation, are discless.
Right.
So
I think.
that's more just testing the waters in their part, I imagine.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me personally, like, I actually don't have a problem with an all digital. I mean, again, like you said, PC. It's literally that's been a thing now for what 20 plus years now, basically, give or take. My problem is with it is that games get delisted or things that I buy digitally only, eventually I can't play, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
look at like PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, right? Whereas with Steam, because let's be honest, Steam's the best, you know, store on PC right now, still to this day. I've bought a game way back when I originally bought my own or built my own PC, and I can still go download that to this day and play it, no problem, right? Anything I bought on the PS3 though, that was digital, can't play it anymore, right? So that's my biggest thing when it comes to going digital only. The size of games, yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but you know what? You throw a couple terabyte M.2 SSD in there, and that kind of solves the problem for the most part. I will give Xbox credit for that 2 terabyte refresh though. That is definitely a step in the right direction.
I mean, whatever next SKU from PlayStation is going to do the same. Like,
Right.
you have to go up. 1 terabyte was too small even back then.
Yep. I mean, geez, what were consoles used to be? They used to be like, what was the original PS3? Like 160 gigabytes or something like that?
I don't think it was. I think 80 was like
It
60
was 80
was
and
the original.
160, I think, or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah,
今度は崩
It was
れないといい
quite low.
it was quite low. Yeah. But I think that's my issue with like all digital on the console side of things, right? Like if it's guaranteed that in 10 years time I could re-download you know, Final Fantasy 7 remake here because I bought it already, then great. You know, I don't need to worry about anything like that, but not exactly.
But again, that's by design now. I think it was the Take-Two CEO was like, hey, it'd be really cool if the next Switch wasn't backwards compatible. You know why? Did they resell you
Yeah,
the
they
game?
just resell it, and I get that. Like, I get that's the reason, right? Yeah, that whole business side and everything.
Oh, the PS3, you can't it's not like you can emulate the 360 with ease. The PS3 with that Gonzo architecture that it had,
Yeah,
it's a
the
bitch.
architecture. Yeah, it was.
It is
it's
a
not.
bitch to emulate.
Yep.
You can do it now, but it's because you have CPUs now that are so vastly more powerful than the cell processor was that you could just emulate it that way. But it's we're definitely treading into anti-consumer waters. But on the topic of physical media, though, keeping it around, with games effectively being a link to a server to download files, i.e. the game's not fully there, even if you have physical media, it doesn't matter. You can't play your game. With games effectively being broken on disk, you have to get an update for them, their day one patches. Like, I think we're already past the point of no return for physical games. That ship sailed. Probably last gen even.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. It just sucks,
It sucks, but and the problem is with the other insidious part of the software, and it's not just video games, the idea of minimum viable product. So shit ships as long as it boots and kind of works.
Yeah, kind of works. Then you're good to go, basically.
You're it's a rock and a hard place now. The most.
Yeah. I mean,
day one.
I'm not calling it per se, but Eric, will you move so I can get to this thing? I'm not saying like this is definite or anything, but I'm predicting in the next, I would say, well, you know what? I'll say this. I'll say by 2028, I think we're the gaming sphere right now that we are currently in is going to look very different. And I obviously know things change and things evolve and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a combination of the faces and how games are consumed, I would say. So obviously we're not going to have Jim anymore at the head of PlayStation. It'll be somebody else. I would not be surprised if Xbox cannot turn this around. I wouldn't be surprised if Phil is potentially gone as well, because again, looking at just the business side, and Microsoft is like, hey Phil, you've been here for 10 years now, we need some results, and you haven't been able to do that. So he could potentially be gone. We're going to see all digital, I think, obviously from Xbox. We'll definitely see it from PlayStation. Maybe there is a disk drive that you can attach, but the thing is that Xbox didn't have that in their leaked documents thing. Again, I know they're leaked and they're old, but we still didn't see it there, so hard to say if that's still going to be there. And I think Nintendo will be the last one with physical discs / cartridges, I would say.
But why would Nintendo want to dick around with that anymore? All it does is give them leaks. All their games get leaked all the time because of physical games. Why would they want that still?
It's Nintendo.
Like, Nintendo. Well, no, Nintendo can do whatever the hell they want. They're effectively Apple at this point. Yep. They want to decide to get rid of disc drives. You're gonna accept it. Full stop.
Right.
They can do whatever the hell they want, and so I see no reason why Nintendo wouldn't want to go digital, even before Microsoft and Sony.
Well, I mean, the
only reason they have it is because they're behind the times by about 5 years. But
right. Well, and the leaks and the rumors right now are saying that the new system does allow for those cartridges to still be used. So, and I don't see Nintendo releasing 2 consoles in the span of 4 years. That's all I'm trying to get at. So,
I do.
2 consoles?
You know how many versions of the goddamn 3DS there are?
I'm not talking about the small updates. I'm talking like a brand new console.
No, I'm talking there are 2 3DSs. There's a 3DS and there's a new 3DS. The new 3DS obviously didn't sell well enough because there's only like 3 games that are only on the new 3DS. Same with the DSi. Like, they do shit like that. Granted, this is way crazier, but Game Boy to Game Boy Color, you can't play Game Boy Color games on your Game Boy, even though it says Game Boy on it. It's not unusual for them to do shit like that. I used to say that satellite thing too on the Super Nintendo.
Oh god, I remember that.
Like the Satellaview or something.
Guess only time will tell, but should be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. DOS be true. Must be true. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. If anyone happens to be watching here as well, whether you're live with us right now or later on and you're watching this after, let us know your thoughts. What are your personal thoughts on the whole digital only, or, you know, Xbox's current situation with Game Pass and PlayStation CEO? Let's know all your thoughts in the comments right now, because it's always fun to talk about.
上の方からロープが垂れてねえが
Teamwork. Ah! More high potions, the better. Here we go. Got it. Oh, can't go past there. Okay. I always explore. I gotta explore every little nook and cranny of this place, because you never know what you're gonna miss. I thought that
I'm
was
back.
He's back. He's alive.
Yeah, I'm live. For a bit longer, at least.
Ow, nothing hurts.
So, non-video game talk. I'm one episode away from finishing the One Piece live-action show.
Oh, nice.
It's a lot better than it was right to be.
I mean, there wasn't exactly a high bar for that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm digging it. It's pretty much not following the manga whatsoever, but it's fun all the same.
It's fun, I'll admit, but yeah, the manga's still the best. I mean, again.
Yeah, no, I'm on issue like 580 right now or something, and it's pretty hype. Shit's really
580.
popping
What's
off.
happening right now?
So they just got through attempting to raid. I'm trying to think what the name of the place is now. It's they already left the prison. They're trying to save Ace.
Oh, Imperial Down. They just left Imperial Down.
Yeah, they're just they're like on the way out, I think. And it's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
this is
you're
popping
about to
off.
get to some pretty hype stuff. Not gonna lie.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's trust me, it's pretty good stuff. Just when you finish the next arc, I would say that's coming up, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on it.
Will do.
Because you're gonna be like, holy crap, what the F did I just experience?
Yeah, it's just like everything's just kind of like popping off right now. Like,
What were your
pretty
thoughts?
much pull all the stops out, or like all like a bunch of these villains coming back and stuff.
Yep.
In prison. Oh.
And to think just beforehand, you know, there's on a the middle of the way island, you know, they meet the first mate of the old Pirate King crew, and the next thing you know, boom, Admiral, boom, sent to a prison, boom.
No, it really just kind of escalated really abruptly too. Like it felt like it was just kind of like a nice leisure thing. All of a sudden, it just pops off. I'm like, what is going on? Where is this coming from?
Well, after the current arc that you're gonna be finishing up, it'll bring it back down just a little bit, you know, kind of goes into a little bit of a backstory on some stuff, and a little more lighthearted, I would say.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not the usual One Piece. That's for sure.
It's very different. Like going from arc, or I guess saga technically, to saga, like it was very different in the moment, and then all of a sudden it goes back to what you'd expect almost. So.
But I'm digging it. Definitely digging it.
Glad you're digging it.
Well, yeah, I have to when it's so goddamn long.
Well, I mean, but you don't have to force yourself to read the entire thing in a week or anything like that. Like,
no, but it's just like, good God, I don't know how people do that. Because I know I've heard of people burning through it like in a couple weeks. Like, how? What are you doing nothing but reading this goddamn manga? How are you reading so goddamn fast? Teach me your ways.
You don't have a
novels
life.
faster.
You don't have a life. That's why.
Yes.
真羅のど真ん中に行くのかと思うと燃えてくるぜ
Did you keep up to date on anything from TGS at all, or did you not really pay attention?
So what's funny with it is I kind of forgot it was going, almost.
Until I messaged you.
Well, no, I kind of forgot it was still going because I saw a bunch of like announcements like, oh yeah, Octopath 2 is going to the Xbox. I'm like, wait, it's a weird. Why are they announcing it now? And I was like, oh yeah, TGS.
Yep.
Like I don't know. Maybe it's because like I'm not seeing it. So the thing is, I don't really read the news a whole lot anymore in general across the board. Actual news or just video game news. And ever since Reddit kind of imploded on itself with that stupid ass API charging decision,
Oh, yeah.
I don't really use Reddit anymore. And so it's mostly Twitter. And my Twitter is very skewed towards like Magic the Gathering and stuff in terms of people I follow. I don't know how it happened. It wasn't intentional, but
It's always weird like that sometimes.
so like I'll see these little blurbs like, oh, that sounds cool. I guess I watched the Spawn Wave warning video thing where he just kind of goes over the news of the day. But no, I see these announcements from TGS and it's always like, what? Why is this being announced right now? It's such a bizarre time for this. Like, oh yeah, TGS.
Yeah, it was. Some of the stuff was better this year. Other stuff not so much. I actually, funny enough, found Microsoft's presentation last year to be way better than it was this year.
Really?
Yeah, this year's was just kind of boring. It was average, I would say. Like they had some decent announcements, like obviously seeing Octopath and everything, but it's like it's been out on every other platform already for like a year now by the time it comes out. So,
well, it's weird that it came out because Octopath 1 was a Switch game. That came out to
Octopath
Xbox.
Traveler 1 was on Switch and PC first. Then it
And
went to
Xbox, but it never went to.
It never went to PlayStation. The first one never went to PlayStation. Or correct,
No,
yes.
and so then 2 went to Switch and PlayStation, but not Xbox and PC.
I thought it went
and
to
now
PC
it's
already.
finally I don't think it went to PC because if it went to PC, it would have went to Xbox. Like, say what you will about Microsoft, they make it trivial to port that stuff.
I thought for some reason it went to PC first because again the first one
it
went to
could
PC.
have. I don't think it did.
Because again the first one went to PC before it went to Xbox. Again, I had to look this up.
Well, so the problem is it's on PC now. Yeah, it is. You're right. It was on
Yeah, that's
PC.
what I thought it was. Yeah, okay, I was right.
So bizarre. Why was it not on Xbox? That's so weird.
Well, because again,
When did
like
it come out?
the first one was on PC, and Switch before it was on Xbox. I think it did. It even went to Game Pass. The first one.
The first one did, yeah.
But the second one here is not going to be on Game Pass, which I get, but I just find it weird that the first one did go to Game Pass, and the second one didn't.
I don't. I confession time. I literally just today bounced off of Octopath 2. I do not like it. I just think they're just kind of these bizarre episodic style games that just do not gel with me. The gameplay's fine, but it doesn't gel with me. But it, to me, doesn't scream, you know, big Square Enix release. So it's weird to me why they're just so fed up with Game Pass. When they're saying they're down on money, I just have to cut you a check if you're down on money. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to do anything. Literally just put the game on your Xbox and Game Pass,
Well,
and you'll get money.
It'll be interesting to see if the new CEO changes that, because again, it's no secret that old or not old, big AAA games don't like Game Pass.
Sure, I completely agree with that. Octopath is not a AAA game.
Right. I'm just saying, I'm wondering if, even though Octopath is not a AAA game, Square still acts like a AAA developer, essentially, or publisher, essentially, right? So maybe they think Octopath is worth more than what they could get it from Game Pass. I don't know. I'm thinking about guesses.
And they're nuts. Absolutely bonkers. I like the art stuff.
Oh, Octopath Traveler's 2 art style has always been amazing. Yeah, one bullet catches my hair. Cloud, your hair's too spiky.
You seen that Twitter post going around of like all the games coming out within like a couple weeks to each other in February?
Yeah.
It's like Persona, Final Fantasy.
I thought Persona was January, wasn't it?
That was February, I'm pretty
Is it
sure.
February?
Well, I thought it was February. Oh, fuck. That. Where is it?
Behind the cover in the first account. What is that? On hell.
February 2nd.
Oh, okay, so I was close. Okay. Not close enough.
Obviously not. Oh, I think the next Like of Dragons also out in that kind of 2-week period too.
Yeah, that I do know is out during that time as well. God, February, just take a break for once.
Or Final Fantasy and to go fight up against Like a Dragon. Can't compare. Can't compare. It's Like a Dragon. It has Old Man Kiryu in it fighting a shark. Like, come on, come on.
I think it'll be fine.
No, I think it's gonna hurt. I think it's gonna hurt Final Fantasy sales.
I mean, if
It's
16
like
has proven
Dragon.
anything, it will probably do well, but it's not. It doesn't have the same powerhouse that it
They
used
should
to
push
be.
it back. They should do what The Exorcist did when they found out Taylor Swift's concert and things going to theaters. At the same time their movie's going out. They should move it.
I don't think they're going to.
Corey Enix should understand that Like a Dragon's a big goddamn deal.
Is it?
Potentially the GOAT. I'm being a guy. It's not. It's a better game. I have expectations that Like a Dragon 8 will be better than Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth is.
Yeah. I was like, I keep want to keep calling it remake. Nothing but remake. It's all remake. It's remake 1, 2, and 3.
Ow, poor Barrett. Nope, Barrett fell. Okay, well, that's not good.
Have you considered not letting your guys die?
You know what? When they team up on him like that, it hurts a little bit. So
Have you considered getting good?
literally,
Speaking about getting good, I still have to go play Liza P.
Yeah, just had some big update actually. I think.
Is there an easy mode for scrubs like I?
I think so. Yeah, they did something
Oh,
about
really?
difficulty. Yeah, no, it actually.
Actually, hers harder than like Bloodborne because like there's no iframes in it, so you pretty much actually have to dodge just relying on your iframes. Like that doesn't sound good. That game was already hard enough. And the only reason I got through Elden Ring was I cheesed my way through it. Turns out, oh god, what was that one sword I used? It's like the sword you can get really early on from this like werewolf guy, and it carried me through the whole goddamn game. And then there's the area where you just like grind for souls and stuff or whatever. I think it was souls. I just did that, so I was like massively over leveled for the end of the game. I still my face punched it repeatedly by the easiest end game bosses. Like, it wasn't even Nikolai, it was the Elden Beast, which is the easier one. And in that one, I actually looked up a cheese build for that too. I actually changed my whole build just to cheese the boss. It's the only way I got through Elden Ring. Because I am a scrub.
I'm an old man now.
I don't know. Like, at this point, I just play games for the experience. I really don't need it to prove anything. I don't really love hard games. I want a game where I just get lost in. That's why I like JRPGs now, because it's just a long-ass game. Lots of lore to get lost in.
I can definitely understand that. I will definitely play some games on, you'll be like, normal? Alright, works for me. Even though you'll see some people like, play it on hard. It's just like, nah.
I'm easy mode just about any game except for franchise. Like, I'm always like a normal or hard. This isn't Diablo. I forgot what it was now. But yeah, no, I don't play games on. I don't care.
You're not a true gamer anymore.
Fuck that. If being a true gamer is a tryhard on Twitch, I'm out. I don't even care.
That's a good thing you're not afraid of heights, because otherwise, I'm not working out very well.
I will say, like, one of the first things I do whenever I like start a new game is I jump off a cliff. And I'm like, alright, fall damage or no fall damage? I'll have to keep that in mind.
Oh god, the whole thing online about Spider-Man's fall damage, you can turn it on or off. I'm just like, what's it matter?
Was there fall damage in the first one?
Yeah, there's fall damage.
How do you get fall? Like, can't you instantly just pull yourself back up unless you're over water or something though and there's nothing around you?
Yeah, you can.
So why would you ever worry? That's probably why I didn't know there was. That's probably why I didn't know there was fall damage to Spider-Man, because why is Spider-Man falling? He's Spider-Man. Like, unless you're like in like a stun frame or something.
Grounded stream win.
God.
I don't know. I think Last of Us is overrated.
I'm so glad I have to say that.
Because you think the same thing?
Oh yeah, it's super rated.
I think Uncharted. I even told Bobby this yesterday, and Bobby knows it.
Uncharted's a vastly better franchise. Oh yeah, for sure. It's a vastly better franchise.
Yep.
And it's such a bummer that people latch on to Last of Us so much. It's like, just go watch Walking Dead or some OG zombie movies or something. Like, this is a walking simulator.
Bobby's just going, what?
I mean, it's not Kojima's walking simulator bad. That's boring. I will stand my ground on that one. Death Stranding is not a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cool experience, but it's just, this is what happens when you don't put a leash on Kojima. You need to get that guy grounded. He makes great shit, but he's too crazy. He's too crazy. It's like somebody can't make you grounded. Yeah, that's probably true. I know how gnarly like that grounded is on Last of Us. Speaking of Kojima, though,
Isn't he working on Death
he's
Stranding
working on
2?
something, but
And then
I'm
also
looking
something for
forward.
Xbox. Isn't he?
I think that got canceled. I'm looking forward to
got
the
canceled?
remake of MGS3. I think. Yeah, I
Dude,
think it
that
got
thing is
canceled.
probably like years out. I would not
Don't
expect.
care.
No, I'm
Don't care.
not saying
I want
that's
it.
bad. I mean, clearly look at something like Final Fantasy VII remake. But I'm just saying, anyone expecting it to come out next year, I don't think it's happening.
It might.
Until I see gameplay, I won't believe it.
Speaking of last one, I do have to watch the HBO show.
Oh, the last first season.
Good. Yep. Did it get picked up for a second?
It did, but I think with the writer's strike, which I think just ended,
Oh, it just ended.
it's been delayed for a while. I do find it. You know what I will say though, it's funny seeing everything from the Last of Us TV show, the One Piece TV show, and everything like that. Like my parents are like, hey, we just finished watching. They literally told me like they're like, hey, we just finished watching the Last of Us TV show. Have you heard of it? And I'm sitting there going, known about this for years. Like not the TV show, just the game and everything, right?
Yeah. Well, Last of Us is a great IP to make a TV show because
It
it's
is.
effective. They made a movie and then graphed a game onto it. Fight me.
Bobby. But no, I
It's a good
was
story.
talking with my mom on Sunday last week, and she randomly mentioned, she's like, oh yeah, there's this really popular movie on Netflix, or TV show on Netflix recently. I don't remember what it was. It's something about a pirate or something, and I'm like, One Piece? And she's like, yeah. Your father and I were thinking about watching it, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh.
They should. It's fun. It's a fun show. Like it's actually probably better if you don't know anything about One Piece, just because it goes so far off the rails.
Oh, Bobby, don't even get me started. You're done. Read the manga. You'll see why it's so long.
1,000 episodes after I started telling.
Anyone who says that, like, clearly haven't even tried it yet.
It's too goddamn long, Talon. If it can't wrap itself up in... How long was Demon Slayer? 200 chapters or something? It could be like Attack on Titan, final season part 2.
Oh God, final
Ultra
season
final.
part 2, part 2.5.
Director's cut.
God damn it, he knocked me into the fucking...
Yeah, but I mean, while I'm glad One Piece is as long as it is, it's still very intimidating to start it.
Oh, I'll admit it's definitely
I've
intimidating.
given so much money to. I'm granted, Shonen Jump subscriptions like $3 here in the States for a month, which is stupid cheap. But I've given them so much money at this point because I've just been pretty much reading it slowly throughout the year. I don't read anything else but One Piece at this point.
待たせてごめん。
If you want to talk about something that's not physical anymore, I kind of miss those big old fat Shonen Jump magazines.
They are here.
I can't read anything that isn't English. I can barely do that.
I know. That because they used to make
Oh yeah,
everything.
no, I used to get them. I used to get them like used to them at book fairs. And I just thought it was the craziest thing how thick they were, how cheap they were. Like, what is this? There's so much in here.
You ever watch The Office? Yeah.
Are you excited for the remake of it?
Oh god, I rolled my eyes at that so hard.
NBC knows it prints money. They gotta. Just think though, if it does well, they're gonna bring back Friends.
Oh god, a remake of Friends. As someone who loves Friends, like the original, no kind of remake or anything, depending on how this video dates.
Yeah, the world needs a remake of Friends. It's time.
I mean, you go back and watch Friends though, like there's a lot of stuff that they said that you said today would be like, oh.
Yeah, turns out like everyone on there's like a sociopath. They're all assholes.
Yep.
And like it's like super homophobic and stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, I get. It's as they say, problematic show.
Will this guy stop moving around like a... Oh, right on. Go. Free. Go. Go, 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 go. Remember when they asked Michael how his branch is successful and all the others lose money, and then he starts explaining, but then rambles on and on?
It's been since last time I watched The Office. I don't remember.
It's been,
how
yeah, it's long. I vaguely remember that, but yeah,
Like, really, the only thing I remember a whole lot about it was to not watch Scott Stops. It was like the most cringe episode ever put to film.
ペバルには早えぞ
Bobby's going for blood.
that's wrong. Oh God, F you, Bobby. You know what? You know what? I'm just gonna say this right now. Tears of the Kingdom, DLC.
Uh-oh. Oh. Oh.
頼らせてもらう
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that. I think you did more damage than you realized. And it's not to Bobby.
I don't remember how to get rid of this laser. Out there.
おいおいマジかよ
車線に注意しろ。よろしくね。
待ってました
レーザーをヘリまで誘導する。
期待してるぜ
Turns out, yeah, you can't talk shit when he's around town. Flips his shit.
I don't mind if people don't like One Piece. I've never had a problem with that. But if you say that there's no story when you clearly have never read it, it has some of the best world building in most manga out there. Like it easily trumps most world building in any other manga.
俺の見せ場だ。どんなもんよ。
That's true. He didn't say there's no story. He just said it took too long to tell a story.
そっちはどうだ。
God, I'm stuck underneath the freaking vase. Damn it.
You know, you really should refrain from that because they can step on you.
Great, and I just wasted an opportunity to use Tifa's limit break because
You're so triggered by what Bobby was saying. Just
Why
all
didn't
that
I
One
heal?
Piece
There we go.
hatred. They're pirates and one of them is a cartoon monkey kid. You really don't need to make that 1,000 episodes.
now I know he's just doing that to get under my skin.
I like it.
Ow, ow. Jesus. Okay, well, Tifa died.
Rip.
まだいけるな。
It's fine, we didn't need her. We get Aerith. Aerith will never die, right?
Well, we're kind of trying to go rescue her right now, so...
A team member on a party can never die. Still would never kill off a main character, right?
Oh, no, clearly never.
Dude, nothing.
Read the manga, Bobby. Read the manga. Yeah, the anime has terrible pacing. Absolutely terrible pacing. Read the manga. Way better.
It's just nothing but filler episodes, the anime.
No, it's that no. The problem is that the anime after episode 198 or something like that starts to go into Toei's business model of, you know, milk it for as long as you possibly can, and so they try to adapt one chapter to one episode.
Per episode?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why.
Oh no.
Yes. Yeah. So you're
So
already
you see
starting,
like
you're
a
starting
bunch
to see
of
the problem
DBZ
right there.
yelling. You see a bunch of like DBZ yelling episodes and stuff.
Right. Well, so
Does
that
this
so they
whole-
either have a
is
bunch
that
of
just
yelling
nothing?
or they just have, you know, instant, you know, frame shots where like, you know, you're like dun, dun, well, one person's looking this way, one person's looking that way, then back, and they do it like for a good minute or, you know, two, and it's just like it just pads out so much time. It's got absolutely terrible pacing. Absolutely terrible pacing. That's why I've always
So you
told
can
people watch the anime until the end of Skypiea and then just read the manga after that.
So you're saying that there's a pacing issue, that there may be a storytelling issue.
Oh my fucking god, you two. That is
You're
not
telling me
that is
anyway.
not on Oda, that is on Toei. 100% on Toei.
Saying you might be a bit inflated, perhaps.
Bobby's like, yes, go, Lemon, go.
実力よ。
I love just being the instigator.
You've always been like that ever since I've known you.
just kind of gently prodding.
なんだ。
Oh, that doesn't sound well.
All I'm doing is just making logical conclusions. Just rewording things you've already said.
Surprised we didn't stick his gun. Up.
スリル満点だったな。
さあもう一息。
こっからだな。
準備運動は終わりだ。
Yep, that's just a warm up, you know, kill a bunch of machines and everything like that, you know, nothing to it.
Nice bloodless combat for training.
Exactly. Now we go for the blood. I will say the top 2 games I played at TGS though were definitely Wayfinder and the Rebirth demo, which by the way, the Rebirth demo I played will most likely, like I'm 99% sure it'll be the demo that they release before the game releases. So like maybe in December, January time, they'll 100% release it. Which I gotta make that video. Oh, I completely forgot about that. I need to get that finished up. Ugh.
大歓迎じゃ
Forgot
ない
about that.
こうしてみると
That's not
強
good.
的な気持ちになる。
I know. Well, I mean, all that new stuff just started coming out with Xbox and now PlayStation stuff, and you know, then we had the Starfield. Oh, have you watched the Starfield video from Bobby, his brother, and Ethel?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
like
so far
45.
beh-
It's like 45
so
minutes
far
discussion.
behind.
You should definitely go watch it. It's a good podcast. Like you can just kind of set it on the side, like on the counter as you're cooking dinner or something like that. I did it yesterday.
Is it just a whole time about how it's bullshit that there's no maps in the game?
I'm sure Bobby's laughing at that.
'Cause-
No, I mean, they talk about the good and the bad. They talk about, you know, like, is it overhyped? Did they break their promises on certain things? You know, is a 7 okay of a score? You know, that type of stuff. So,
Because I was about 5 units before over encumbered, and I was in town. Like, I need to sell this shit, and I went over town 4 times. I could not find a place to sell the shit because no one wanted to buy it. You know,
you
to
didn't
solve
have a
that,
map, right?
the goddamn map would have solved that. Tell me where the goddamn General Store was. But no, I'm not graced with a map because I'm supposed to memorize this shit. Even in real life, I have a map.
Spoiler alert: 7 is an appropriate score. Don't let the Xbox fanboys hear that, man. And don't let the PlayStation fanboys hear that either, because they're gonna think that's too high.
I mean, you can make a whole, like,
光栄だぜ。
college article, not an article, but like a research paper
Research paper.
on fanboyism around this game. Like, it is insane. It is a, like, I'm sure sociology and psychology people would just have a field day with that shit.
Oh yeah, no, they absolutely would. My I always get a laugh at it though, where people try to defend it by saying, no, you gotta put 25 hours into the game before you're allowed to judge it, right? Or you gotta play 12 hours before it finally gets good. It's just like,
うまく立ち回れ。
You get 2 hours. If it doesn't
talk about
grab
mental
me,
gymnastics just to make somebody like a game.
神羅の炎をどうしてく
I
れ。
don't have time. I don't have that kind of time
Yeah,
anymore.
it's called being an adult. You know, I got a daytime job. I got job after that. I've got
I got other
a
goddamn
life.
games to play.
Yeah, I got other games. Have you seen 2023? I will say one thing. It probably gave Xbox a reason to start charging for first-party games, quote-unquote early access. That probably did bangers for them in terms of business sales.
Which, I don't know. I'm pissed off that's a thing in general, but it's not a bad idea for Game Pass.
It's not. I mean, again, it's a great business move, but the promise of first day is gone now, essentially.
Not at all. The first day is, when it officially comes out, you're just paying for early access. When you look at the release date for the game, that's the day. Because at that point, then you have to ask, does early access considered the when you launch? Like, did Baldur's Gate 3 come out 2 years ago when it's first early access and people are shitting all over it?
I do remember.
Which cracked me up. Whenever people like flipping out about Baldur's Gate 3, I'm like, wait, that's good? Last I heard about it was early access and people hated it.
Like, yeah, it's kind of one of the best-selling games of the year. It's in running for Game of the Year, and yeah.
あれってシンラの車だよね。
飛び乗るぞ。
I'm just a bit bummed there's not more contenders, good contenders for Game of the Year. It's pretty much just down to Zelda and Baldur's Gate at this point.
I mean, in the end, Game of the Year literally just comes down to which person you to play. So.
No, Elden Ring is objectively the best game of last year. It's an objective fact.
Bobby's like, well.
Let me tell you about this game called Stray. Which I still have never played. I keep meaning to. It's on my list of games I have
That's
to go
getting
buy.
a TV show or a movie, I think.
Is it the same as Last of Us where they actually made a movie and they put some game elements into it and called it a day?
そっちは異常なし。問題ない。了解。
One of the most oblivious guards I've ever seen in my life.
Let me introduce you to the Oblivion Guards. Just put a bucket on their head, they'll never know. We all have straight clips.
なんだ貴様ら。おなんであろうがぶっ潰すぜ。おう任せとけ。ほらほら。いけんだろう。
よしやっちゃおう。終わり。
なんだどうした動くなおとなしくしろ大歓迎だぜ
うまく立ち回れと言ったはずだ。
不器用なもんでよ
暴れる気だった。
だって記憶にねえな
落ち着いていけ。
待ってました邪魔見や俺好みの展開になってきたな
Material. Oh, healing material.
通用口が奥にあったはずだ。
Disagree. Yep. There you go. We all know straight clears. Straight from the horse's mouth.
おいどうなってる本部と連絡が取れないらしい侵入者の仕業か
攻めるぞ。ここまで。そっちは任せて。
気合い入れてけ
さあ行くよ。止めた。
Alright, soldier boys, you can't take down Tifa. You good.
Didn't you say she died or something though?
To a machine thing that literally landed on top of her. Let's see you walk away from that.
Well, I wouldn't be in that situation to begin.
はこれから
So you say.
I know to stay away from machines.
慎重に行こう。
Alright.
下がっていく。
No, Battlefield's not a very good place to fall asleep.
シャワー
No,
浴びたいな。
not exactly the best place.
Bit of a life tip for you.
Oh no. Oh god, there's a lot of enemies up there. Okay.
They want to stay away.
頼んだぞ。
任せていいか。
よしやっちゃおう。
黙るわけにはいかねえ。そこ。
頑張って。
仕方ね
じゃあね。
え。今だ。
終わり。よろしくね。逃がさない。
こんなもんよ。
All right, I gotta lay down. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning. Jeez. All right, yeah, get some sleep, man. We'll have the video out tomorrow that I got the fun made for and everything like that. So take it easy,
About
sleep well.
time.
Yeah, you gotta head to sleep as well.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I was gonna leave earlier, but I got into a really good run playing Vampire Survivor, and I got into a really goddamn good run. And I'm at like 19 minutes, which is insane because I'm not using my usual character.
All right, well, if you're gonna head out, then I will call the stream there as well. Had a good conversation. So,
Sounds
thank
good.
you everyone for joining us on the stream today. It was always a lot of fun. Again, let us know your thoughts in the comments about them CEO leaving, Xbox and their future, and Nintendo just sitting over here in the corner counting their money with the Switch and everything. So, anyway, I've been Talon with Direct Gaming. Thank you so much for stopping by. Until next time, everyone. See you in the next one.